Naturally, I'm a very private person. We lived in secrecy for 11 years, but I feel that I need to speak openly. If things are going to change, I want to make a difference, as I feel it could prevent so many more deaths. My husband Chris was clever and funny and adventurous, and I met him when we were both travelling, and we spent the next 11 years together in a really happy, stable relationship. We'd known each other 6 years when we decided to get married.
I am really, really glad you said yes. You're my rock. I love you very much, and I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives.
Chris worked as a product manager for a national newspaper in London. He earned a good salary, and we had a wide circle of friends.
When the clock strikes 1, 2 and 3.
Chris was a brilliant dad. He was very hands-on with our daughter. She just adored him. Chris had undiagnosed anxiety issues. In his early 20s, started self-medicating. The year before I met him, he started taking Valium whilst on long bus journeys in Asia. He knew people who did the same thing, and he was slow to realise that that was turning into an addiction. Once he did realise, he kept it secret from everybody, even me, because he was so afraid to be judged. There was one point when I found out Chris was taking Valium again, and it was a big shock for me. It was a massive shock. He'd say that he'd never take Valium again. He's sorry. He didn't want to jeopardise our relationship. It was very difficult to get any kind of help in the NHS. In 2014, whilst away on a business trip, Chris was overwhelmed by anxiety and cravings. I assumed that he couldn't obtain Valium, so he went out and met with an illegal street drug dealer, bought heroin, which of course he had no way of knowing the purity of. At home, I received the knock at the door that nobody should ever receive, the policeman telling me that my husband was dead. The bottom fell out of my world completely. You just do not expect that anything like that can ever happen to you. We were so young and so happy, and we just bought our first house a week before. My daughter was 18 months old, and I remember bathing her and knowing that she wouldn't have any comprehension of what I was about to tell her, but that her life would be changed forever from those words, and wanting to take that pain away. After Chris died, I researched everything I could on addiction and drugs. By understanding addiction and what that meant, I started to look into the laws that surround drugs and drug use, and the way that we criminalise drug users, and that led me to Transform. Transform, a published body of work which explains how things could be different if we had legal reform of drugs. And everything I read, it just gave me an understanding of Chris as well. Chris could be accused of being selfish for taking illegal drugs, but anybody that really knew Chris knew that he was anything but selfish. That's why I'm supporting the Anyone's Child campaign, so that other people's children don't have to pay the price that my daughter's paid.